Do a real tree, Greg?
I usually do. I'm leaning towards not
Yeah.
this year.
We've done a pre-lit fake tree for a long time.
You know what we had? We had one of the pre-lit fake trees, and then the lights started dying on it. And then it was like, well, you know what? We just went back to a plain fake tree with
lights you put on it.
Lights we put on ourselves.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, that's probably the way I'll go too, because the last time we did have an artificial tree, it was pre-lit. And not that we had a lot of problems with it, but it had started to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And like I said, I normally prefer real tree, but I don't have the energy this year. I really don't.
I'm just too paranoid about fires.
Well, you don't put candles on it.
No.
You know what the problem is? I smoke a lot, and I'm constantly throwing my butts behind me.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Filling his smoking butts.
What can I say?
Hello and welcome to episode number 889 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, December 5th, 2023. I'm your host, Chris Johnston, and with me as always from Canada is Mr. Greg Seward.
Yellow.
How's it going there, sir?
It's going well. Now my camera works again. Although
that's good.
The autofocus is still going crazy on this
you look a little fuzzy.
Well, it keeps going in and out.
Fuzzier than normal.
Right.
Yeah. Excellent. And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Hello.
It's very Christmassy in your podcast recording room.
That's right. It is
studio.
Your studio.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Are you simply having a wonderful Christmas time?
Not yet, but we're working our way up to it.
You know, it occurs to me, we need to record a Christmas song.
I know. It's December already, and we don't have a plan for that, huh?
Normally, like early November, I'm working on that. But
yeah.
I am currently simply having a moderate Christmas time.
It's just a moderate one?
Yeah, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
The first week of December, so.
It's How are you?
Yeah, boy, the famous last words. It's only the first week of December. I have plenty of time.
That's right. I'm doing well.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. I'm gearing up to head to Los Angeles, the city of angels.
Los Angeles.
No, that's the one,
for the Game Awards. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
Attending the Game Awards for the first time this year. It'll be
the first time this year you got
to the Game Awards this year.
That doesn't make you special.
This year is the first time that I will attend the Game Awards.
That's the first time anyone will attend the Game Awards this year.
Oh, fine. But yeah, excited about it. Humanity, obviously nominated for Best VR AR game, and I'm very excited about that. Happy about that. Although, hey, we're amongst some really big hitters like Gran Turismo 7 and Resident Evil 8 Village. And Horizon Call of the Mountain and Synapse from End Dreams, which is a really good game. So who knows what will happen?
Can I offer some advice?
What's your advice,
CJ?
Yeah.
When they get to the Game of the Year category,
no, I'm not going to yell anything out. I'm not going to yell anything out.
And then there's the very dramatic, and the winner,
Harry Potter got robbed. Is that what you're going to yell?
Game of the Year. You just yell out, humanity, and then they'd have to do it. They'd have to give it to you.
They'd have to do
it. You should really just like yell like, "Oh, the humanity!"
If you yell it first, that's how that works, right?
And then light up a balloon in the middle of bring a big balloon, float it over the stage.
Yeah,
set fire to it, and then yell, "Oh, the humanity!"
It wasn't a balloon.
It was a Zeppelin.
Yeah, but that's not a balloon.
Was that not a big balloon?
I mean, I guess if you want to be really reductive about it.
I was.
But,
I don't know if you noticed or not.
Tell that to the victims of the Hindenburg.
I thought you were going to say the Titanic.
Are there any still around?
No. That was a different.
I don't think I could have told that to the victims of the Hindenburg back then, could I? Were there survivors? I don't even know.
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
You weren't there.
Also, I wasn't alive, so I couldn't have done it back
We didn't
then
have a
anyway,
24-hour news cycle then, so it was impossible to
God,
know.
those were the days, right? Remember when you didn't know absolutely everything about everything all the time?
Yeah,
awesome.
Last week my dad was visiting from Chicago, and my dad likes to watch the news. Like he's very tuned in. He wants to see Chicago news specifically. And now you can get that streaming on if you have like Peacock or Paramount Plus. They allow you to stream different local news like from different
they do
markets.
that up here with a bunch of apps too.
Yeah. And so and also I should say during Thanksgiving they have like the B, C, D team on the on the news because everybody who's like the normal anchors are taking a break.
All the real people have time off. That's what
they have time. They have time off, and they're repeating an awful lot of stories, especially like the feel good holiday, whatever. And they have a correspondent.
The WKRB turkey drop.
They have a correspondent in the airport telling you how busy or not busy the airport is at any day around the holiday. So I saw a lot of news, and there was really nothing going on. Not too much outside of world events that were very terrible things happening.
So
not
Bill Curtis had the day off.
Bill Curtis, yeah.
I'm trying to remember other Chicagoland news anchors.
Lester Holt,
yes.
He's still on the air. He's like the host of Dateline now, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Bill Curtis. He's still kicking around too.
Is he?
He is like an announcer on the NPR news quiz called Wait, Don't Tell Me, if you listen to that.
I don't, but
if you participate in the quiz, you can get Bill Curtis's voice on your answering machine. And I'm just like, oh
wow.
Like I'm not interested in anything else.
Who has an answering machine?
Well, voicemail, whatever.
I'm
like, yes. Bill Curtis on my voicemail, amazing. Except the only person who would appreciate that is my dad and maybe you, Phil, and you never call. So why don't you ever call?
Wow,
Phil.
Oh boy, now here comes the guilt.
Hey, remember when you guys lived like 20 minutes from each other and never saw each other?
I don't.
You came up to where we were like once.
I drove up there once.
Drove up there once.
Yeah. Did CJ ever drive down to see me? No.
It was when I was moving.
It's true. And it was because you had something that belonged to my son that I had to get back.
That's right. But anyway, hey, the Game Awards is this week.
Hooray.
That'll be exciting.
Hooray for the Keeleys.
We'll have some good announcements to check out. Sega apparently is announcing something at the Game Awards. So
Model 3 arcade conversions.
I doubt it's that.
Yeah, keep that dream alive, Greg.
I'm going to.
Probably not. And hey, we have the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer dropping on Tuesday.
That's exciting.
That is exciting.
I'm ready. I'm ready to play another Grand Theft Auto.
I have not played a GTA game in a long while, and certainly not enjoyed one in a long while.
I've enjoyed one. I've enjoyed
Chinatown Wars,
many of
maybe.
them. But, Chinatown Wars was great.
Chinatown Wars.
It's also 20 years old, but it was great.
They should bring that one back. They should totally.
I agree.
Bring that back. But hey, December 5th. That's when we 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. That's when we'll get our first look at Grand Theft Auto 6 officially. First look at Grand Theft Auto 6. If you saw the leaked stuff, then
it'll take place in Vice City, but modern day, so it won't be interesting in the least.
Well, yeah, it's Miami or whatever, right? They're going back to that stuff. All right. Hey, Fortnite fans, Greg and Phil. I know you love Fortnite. They just started a new season of Fortnite.
Thank goodness. Finally.
They when apparently the OG season that they just closed was like one of their most popular seasons. Like it brought a lot of people back to do the sort of OG map and play mechanics. So apparently they're gonna bring some of that back for in 2024 at some point. But for now, we have a new season, and they're introducing some new game modes, and they've sort of been doing this for a while. You know, they have the Unreal Engine for Fortnite, and they've gotten some of their satellite studios like Mediatonic made a game for Fortnite, and they're kind of stepping that up a little bit in season 5. On December 7th, we're getting Lego Fortnite. Phil, you must be very, very thrilled by that.
I did see that.
Yeah, I wonder, it's apparently going to be something different. It's going to, quote, encourage creativity, experimentation, and collaboration through play. So I can't imagine that it's a battle royale experience exactly.
I mean, that does seem to kind of go against the Lego, the whole vibe of Lego just running around and shooting each other.
Right.
But
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they do it with they do have Star Wars.
That's
so
true.
You're shooting each other with lasers or whatever. So
I mean, Fortnite has Nightmare Before Christmas, which I never would have expected to see. Skeleton Jack running around with a gun.
I mean, he's a skeleton,
I guess.
You know, he was theoretically alive at one point.
Theoretically, yeah.
Yeah.
So Lego Fortnite launches first on December 7th, and then we get Rocket Racing, which is developed by Psyonix, so the Rocket League team.
Okay.
Bringing it seems like a more traditional racing game with tracks that you can play.
I'm listening.
Yeah, within Fortnite. And then the last one is called Fortnite Festival. This is a music game by Harmonix, which Epic also owns. And so this will be...
So they're just giving all their studios something to do.
Yes.
Apparently. Something to do within Fortnite.
Right.
Yeah.
Is Fortnite just kind of turning into Roblox at this point?
It seems like they're kind of headed that way. And I mean, it's been that way for a while.
Really?
Like there are mini games and modes that you can play within Fortnite.
Okay.
But these are like the first official, like full experiences that they've put in the game. So that's kind of cool. And the Fortnite Festival thing kind of looks like that Rock Band game that you played with the controller. Kind of looks a little bit reminiscent of that. So
I did watch there's like a 10-minute video or something where the Fortnite characters kind of travel through each of these realms.
Yeah.
So I actually did watch that because I wanted to see what that was all about. So
yeah, they didn't really show much of the Lego thing, so I'm curious to see what that is. But you can use all of your Fortnite skins in the Lego mode. Apparently, they have made over 1,200 skins available within the Lego mode. So I'm curious what that means, if I'll be able to play Ash Williams in the Lego mode.
So is it like, will it be like a Lego minifigure Ash Williams?
Yes.
Really?
A Lego minifigure Ash Williams or RoboCop or Terminator.
Because I do have the RoboCop Fortnite skin. So will I be able to play as Lego RoboCop?
I'm going to say probably so, because the RoboCop skin has gone on sale again fairly recently.
Well, there was a new game to cross promote with.
I don't think they worried about that, but yes, they did that. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see. Yeah, I can play with Fry and Leela and Bender in the Lego mode. That'll be fun. And this season's big skins are Peter Griffin and Solid Snake.
You're walking tank.
Apparently, in one of the trailers, there's graffiti on the wall that says Leonardo, which has caused many people to speculate that TMNT is going to be in this season too. So,
yes,
yeah, that'll be interesting. But hey, Fortnite is still good fun. I enjoy it. I'm going to be playing this season. They have a train this season. For some reason, they've added a train that you can try to take over. So I know you're both very excited about that. But maybe you'll be more excited about this. Beyond Good and Evil is going to be celebrating its 20th anniversary soon. And of course, one of the worst kept secrets that Ubisoft has been working on a 20th anniversary edition of the game. It apparently appeared on the Xbox store for a brief period of time last week.
God.
Oh.
And then the Twitter account, Ubisoft's Twitter, then just straight up admitted that, yeah, they're working on it. And we'll see you again in early 2024. So, yeah.
Were they going to release Beyond Good and Evil 2 at the same time, or
or any news?
They've been working on that
Good
for like
Evil?
15 years now.
Have they?
Apparently,
have they
really?
On that,
no,
right?
but
yeah. But are you excited to play Beyond Good and Evil again? Are there any sort of updates that you would be interested in? Should they update anything?
The thing about Beyond Good and Evil is it's great.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, anyway, it always felt like, well, it feels like it needs a sequel.
Yeah.
Like it always felt like the prologue to a much larger story that just never, ever got told, obviously.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's really, really short. I seem to remember it being very, very short. But I could be wrong about that.
Maybe they'll update some of the gameplay. You never know.
I mean, it would make sense. It's quite an old game, obviously.
It's very old,
so it wouldn't hurt to update the gameplay.
Yeah,
but yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I'll play it. It might be depending on what they do with it. As a full price game, it might be a little much, but
maybe it'll be on Game Pass.
True.
Or PS Plus. Who knows?
Yeah.
So many games do appear on those services now. All right. Let's talk about this because Valve has made a version of Steam Link available for the MetaQuest 2, 3, and Pro that allows you to wirelessly stream PC VR games from Steam to your headset.
Okay.
Cool.
So their Oculus has an official way for you to do this. It's called AirLink, and it works pretty well. And there's also Virtual Desktop is a very popular tool. It's $20 to do something very similar, and it works pretty well. But this is a free tool from Valve directly that works with Steam. I set this up on my Quest 3. It was very, very simple to set up. All I had to do was pair my headset. I had to boot the application, pair my headset with my PC, and then I could load up any VR game that I had on Steam. Very seamless. And the quality is really good. Quality is very good. Yeah. So
that's cool. I would like to try that.
If you have not done that, I would recommend it.
I might have to
recommend trying it. I loaded up Half-Life Alyx, which I have not played very much of, but would like to, and Tetris Effect Connected and Res, like those all play budget cuts plays on my Quest headset. So yeah, it works very well.
Neato.
I may want to look into it. Yeah, the Steam Link application is on the Quest store, so that's where you'll find it.
It's just called Steam Link.
Steam Link, just Steam Link. Yeah.
Okay.
And
like the old Steam Link.
You can also play flat PC games in VR, like in a sort of theater.
Flat PC games.
That's what people call it. That's what people call it. It's not my term. That's what people call
I only play flat games.
Nobody knows what that means.
Hey, losers.
You can't say that. If you're not
one of my flat quadruple A titles that I love so much.
Play your flat video games. Amazon Prime has released a series teaser for the Fallout TV show, which premieres on April 12th.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys checked out the Fallout teaser?
I forgot to watch that. I've been meaning to.
I meant to, and I just completely slipped my mind.
I saw some still screens from it, and it looked
Fallout-y.
It looked very
Fallout-y.
Yeah.
It's extremely Fallout-y.
Actually, no, wait a minute. I think I did watch the teaser.
Well, it certainly left a big impact.
Yeah, clearly.
It's only like a minute. No, it's 2.5 minutes. I thought it was less than that, but it looks pretty good. It's from the director of Westworld, which was a very good show. I enjoyed
I did
Westworld.
watch this now that you're saying this. Yes.
And Amazon, obviously they've done The Boys, and they did that Lord of the Rings show.
God, when's the next season of The Boys coming out?
Soon. That comes out in 2024 as well.
Did you watch Gen V?
I haven't watched The Boys.
Oh man, The Boys is great. CJ, if you ever do decide to watch it, please don't watch it with your daughter.
Well,
too late.
No, I started watching it.
She actually runs the fan site.
I started watching it on a plane.
That's a good spot for it. Yeah.
Was like, this, I don't think this is appropriate to watch on a plane. So
it is not.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop and continue it later. And I just haven't yet.
It is a fantastic show. And I just finished watching Gen V as well, which ties directly into whatever, I think it's season 5 that's about to come out. Ties directly into season 5 apparently. So I really like it a lot anyway. It's quite a good show.
I see.
The comic book's good too.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I'm very excited about the Fallout show. I hope that they and it looks like they are going to keep a lot of the sort of,
well, I mean, they all have blue jumpsuits and the big guys with the masks. And
but like using music from the 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Like, I enjoy that
all the greatest hits from the 30s, 40s, 50s, and today.
Like your parents' favorite radio station?
EMK.
I'm John Records Landector.
Yeah.
So do you guys, you probably don't. Do you guys listen to over-the-air radio anymore at all?
No.
That's still a thing?
It is still a thing.
You can do that?
Because I'll tell you what, our local oldie station,
playing the best hits.
Boy, there's a lot of music from the 90s on there. Boy, does it feel like I'm back in college.
Your classic rock station, playing all the hits from the 2000s.
Meanwhile, my 72-year-old aunt upstairs is complaining that the oldie station plays too much modern music. God damn it.
The latest classic golden oldies from Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yep.
Coming up.
Baby Got Back is on the oldie station.
Oh my God.
I remember going to the Sock Hops listening to this, ladies and gentlemen. Blues Traveler. The Hook will bring you back.
The Blues Traveler's on there too. Yep.
For a short time, I had satellite radio, and they had an awesome selection of channels that were only playing.
Yeah, they were just songs from decades.
Those decades. So like channel 4 was like 40s and older. 50s was on 5, 60s on 6, 77. But like,
we get it.
Now I get it.
Now that we have gone into this new century, is it going to be like,
now that we've been in this new century we're into our 3rd decade, CJ?
Yeah,
but he's like, what's going to happen now?
Channel 0 has
we're a quarter of the way through this new century.
And
it's so funny.
Now he's still worried about Y2K.
I am worried about Y2K.
It's December 31st. Everyone turn off your computers.
The computer's on still has the ready for Y2K sticker on it. I tried. My kid, there was something we were watching one day and somebody mentioned Y2K and my kids asked what was that, and I couldn't explain it in such a way that made any sense to, you know what I mean? Like they were like, well, that just sounds dumb. I was like, well, it was, but it still was a thing.
It probably would have been bad if I'm not saying it. Yeah, I'm not saying the world would have like completely imploded on that date, but if there wasn't preparation for it, and if some systems had not been updated, it might have been bad.
Oh, sure, it would have.
As it was.
It's just that it was something that dominated the news so much, and it's like it was such a nothing burger.
There's kind of a subplot on Y2K in the new season of The Righteous Gemstones, which is a great show on HBO.
As good as The Boys?
Well, I don't know because I haven't seen The Boys.
So,
if you like anything, What?
Just not with your daughter.
If you like anything that Danny McBride has done, Eastbound and Down, or Vice Principals, or clearly, Greg, you are a fan.
I haven't seen any of these.
Yeah, I haven't
None of
either.
those.
I haven't even heard of Vice Principals.
Oh, it's on HBO. It's a great show. Yeah. But Righteous Gemstones is about mega church, some evangelists. It's great.
Well, like John Goodman's in that, right?
John Goodman's in it. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh, is his character from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
No.
Okay.
And
it's from Raising Arizona.
Isn't Walton Goggins in it too?
Walton Goggins is in it. Yeah,
Walton
he was
Goggins.
also in the Fallout
Goggins
show.
was also in the Fallout show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is he really?
No nose. He's missing a nose.
Well, there's one scene in the Fallout trailer where he's fine.
Origin
like a
story.
flashback.
Oh,
flashback bit.
Walton Goggins is pretty great.
Walton Goggins is great. He's in Vice Principals and in Righteous Gemstones, and fantastic in both. So, but anyway, hey, that's it for the video game news that we've been talking about this entire time. So I guess we'll get into what you've been playing. Greg, why don't you start us off?
Well, last night I finished Super Mario RPG.
yay!
Yeah,
Nice.
I think it took me about 12 hours.
Okay.
This was a nice quick play. Man, that was a lot of fun. I love it. I mean, I love that it's, obviously it's a pretty major overhaul from a visual standpoint, but just the fact that it's a game that I enjoyed back when it first came out, but only ever played through it once. I have like super strong memories about it because it was more of to me it was more of a novelty than anything else. Right? Like, Mario in an RPG. I mean, now it's not weird at all for Mario to be in a million different kinds of games, but like back then you didn't see him in, like, I think there was one Mario Kart at the time, and you kind of discount those like educational games that he was in, and that was kind of it. So him being in an RPG, especially an RPG from Squaresoft, was a huge deal. And I played it because, again, of the novelty factor, but having not played it since then, which was 30 some odd years ago, now that we're in this new century, it's time to play Mario RPG again.
This would be on the oldies station.
Yeah. Yes. The 90s on 9. And it was great because re-experiencing it, I mean, I maybe like the major story beats, I might have had some memory of those, but otherwise really not much of anything. So it was just great to play it and rediscover, and also like the little like Nintendo, the little nods to different Nintendo properties. Like you got Samus in there, and you've got the F-Zero vehicles make an appearance, and there's just a lot of references to other Nintendo properties, which is great. And also one major reference to Final Fantasy in the form of a boss that's really hard to kill. So yeah, overall, I mean, I loved it. It was, again, another one of those games where I was just compelled to keep playing it. Playing it on a handheld console obviously made it that much easier to do, and I was just playing it for an hour or so last night, and I was getting near to the end of it, and just took the thing to bed and finished it off, and yeah, it was great. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it a lot. Somebody in the chat has asked, how do I feel about it no longer looking claymation? I don't feel like it ever really looked claymation.
No, it was supposed to be like rendered.
Yeah,
it always looks like sort of CG rendered. It looked way closer to Rare stuff to me than anything else, although much more attractive than most of Rare's CG rendered stuff. I think how do I feel about it? I'm happy that it doesn't have that look, because that look hasn't aged well, in my opinion. Because, and I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, because you could still see it on things like the giant blade that's in Koopa's castle right at the beginning and throughout the whole game. It's not a great model, and it's meant to look like it did back then. And to me, it just screams 90s CG, but like we got to keep this low res, not low res, but a really simple. It needs to be a really simple
Undetailed.
design. Yeah, because it needs to read on at a much lower resolution on a CRT.
Yeah.
Right. Which it did, and I think it looked okay for that, but doesn't look okay in high res and in actual 3D and that sort of thing. So I'm glad they didn't try to stick with that here, because I think it would have looked silly. As it is, I think it looks adorable. They're every character's got a bit of a chibi look to them. They're all really small and sort of squat and cute, and they look fantastic. I think I really like the way it looks, and otherwise it's just very pretty in general.
And
So
the characters are nicely emotive too. Like,
yeah,
you get some of the cutscenes and even sort of the in-engine scenes with the Chancellor and like Bowser. The bit that gets me is Bowser sort of denying that he was like ever crying
yeah.
that he didn't have the princess or whatever, and that whole bit was fantastic. And I just got to that today because I've been playing it as well. I'm 3 stars in now,
Okay.
on my way to the 4th star, and I'm really enjoying it. I don't have any nostalgia for this game. I never played it back in the day, and I'm enjoying just how easy and
Very light.
breezy everything is.
Yeah.
And I'm playing on normal, and I'm not finding it difficult at all.
Yeah.
Maybe the only thing is the timing on at like boosting the attacks or like defending. Like sometimes the timing, since you see so many different enemy types, and the timing on their attacks is usually pretty different. Like it can get hard to
I didn't experience that. The
figure
timing is
that.
based entirely on the weapon you have.
Yes, there's that, but also I'm talking the timing, enemies hitting you and defending.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The timing of your own weapons, that's not hard, because after the first or second time you do something with that weapon, you know the timing.
Yeah.
But
So
otherwise,
for anyone who hasn't played, it's turn-based RPG, kind of like Final Fantasy was in the early 90s.
yeah.
And anytime when your character's attacks, you can hit the A button at a very specific point, and they'll do like a double or even a triple attack and do a lot more damage, as well as damage everything else on the screen
Around it, yeah.
And anytime an enemy does a physical, not anytime, some attacks are unblockable, but most attacks are blockable. And again, it's a timed button press.
Yeah.
Which, like CJ said, is different for every enemy, more or less.
Well, and enemies can have different attacks, and it doesn't. Yeah. Add some variability into it. It doesn't get that frustrating, and usually I'm pretty well my defense stats are pretty good, so it's not like earth shattering. I'm basically fighting every enemy that I run across. I don't with this game, I'm not avoiding enemy encounters. I'm hitting every enemy.
And there's no random encounters, which is nice.
No random encounters.
You always see the enemy on the overworld screen. So yeah, overall, I mean, I'm really pleased with it. It's, again, much like Zelda and Spider-Man this year, I just kind of wanted to keep playing it. So until I finished it. I'm not going to do the post-game content, but
I was playing Alan Wake 2 and decided I wanted to play something a little more bright,
whimsical.
So I continued down the path of Mario RPG. So yeah.
Well,
and maybe I'll probably finish it for the first time.
Yeah, 12 or so, like I said, 12 or so hours. It's pretty light.
Doable. That's doable.
Yeah. Speaking of playing something a little more whimsical, I started playing Robot Cop Rogue City tonight.
Yeah.
It's really I played it for about an hour. Yeah, about an hour. I played through the prologue, basically. Right. And boy, does it have that sort of old school AA game vibe. You know what I mean? You know what I mean by that? Like,
I do.
It's not nearly as, especially coming off something as polished as like Spider-Man 2 or even Mario RPG or Mario Wonder. Like, boy, is it just barely holding together at times. And the gameplay is good. It's not great. I'm not crazy about the weapon swapping and the picking up ammo, the way that's set up. I will say that I love the targeting system. It looks right, which is great, because it's first-person shooter. And when you hold the L2 button to,
aim down
the sights, you aim down sights. But it does the CRT style treatment to the screen, and
brings up RoboCop vision.
Right, Robo Vision, I think they call it. And you've got like the green lines that center in on enemies and outlines them so that you can, you can target them and everything. Looks cool. Feels like you're playing as RoboCop, just like it should. But yeah, you had mentioned this before, Phil, where they have obviously the actor that matters doing the voice of RoboCop, but they don't have Nancy Allen for his partner, and it's very I believe
you mean his partner, Officer Ann Lewis.
Yes, Officer Lewis. They don't have her, and it's very noticeable. Almost every other voice actor, not only is it very noticeable, but sounds mean, but they didn't spend a lot of money on them. I think. You know what I mean? Like, there's something about the voice acting in the game.
Right.
Like, this is okay. But all that being said, I really liked what I played so far, because
it's fun.
It's just a RoboCop game.
Yeah.
And I love playing a RoboCop game. I haven't played a RoboCop game in 30 years. So, and now that we're in the new century, it's time for a new RoboCop game, is what I say. Yeah. So, and I guess in the timeline wise, this takes place between RoboCop 1 and 2. It seems to.
Does it?
Well, it's all about Nuke, right? So Nuke was a thing in RoboCop 2.
Wasn't Nuke like kind of introduced in 2 though?
Well, it was introduced in the movie. I mean, as like Nuke wasn't in the first one. No, nobody mentioned it. But I mean, there was like an epidemic.
In part 2, is Nuke like a hot new designer drug?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So it was.
I feel like this must take place like right before 2, if we're looking at a timeline, because no one's talking about RoboCop 2 existing at this point. So,
oh, that's true,
right? Because I mean, that was the whole point of that movie, is that RoboCop was replaced with 2, and they put a drug addict in there. So, Anyway, I don't know, maybe not, but because I've only played the prologue. But so far really enjoying it, and I want to play Alan Wake 2, but apparently RoboCop's only like an 8 or 9 hour game, so kind of wanted to do that and get through it, so I could jump in to Alan Wake as well.
There you go,
for something whimsical. Anyway, that's it. That's all I've been playing.
All right, Phil.
Yes.
What do you got for us?
Well, I think hearing you two talk about Mario RPG, I'm now in a position where I can start playing Mario RPG, because I have finished Super Mario Brothers Wonder, as I was threatening to do last week.
Yeah.
I finished the game, defeated, spoiler alert, defeated Bowser. And remember how I was talking about how I was sort of almost inadvertently getting close to 100%ing this game?
You did it.
Yes.
Just because I was having so much fun going back and collecting all the collectibles and finding all the secret exits and such.
Yep.
I didn't do it. I don't
You didn't.
I don't know the exact percentage I'm at. 99%. Let's round it off.
Get 99 problems, but Perfect Game Mario Wonder is not one.
Oh boy, it's definitely not one. So actual spoiler alerts, sort of, if you care about this sort of thing. It's not really a big deal. We've talked about this on the show. There's a secret world that you can reach, and I've gotten to the secret world. I've finished all the secret world levels. Once you finish them all, it's kind of like, okay, here's the actual secret level. And you go through that, and it's very challenging.
Okay.
And I completed that, and I got all the items in that. And then after you finish that, then they're like, oh,
hold on.
Here's the and I believe it's actually called like the final level. Like they're a little cheeky about it. So there's the final level in the game. And it is a lengthy stage.
Yeah.
And it is horrendously difficult.
Sounds awesome.
The way it works, and again, spoilers if you care about this sort of thing. But so there's the gimmick of this game. One of the many gimmicks of this game is that you can unlock these badges that you can equip before you go into a level. And these badges give you various different types of powers. One makes you constantly hop. One makes you constantly run. One makes it so you can tap a button to do like a kind of dolphin swim dash if you're in an underwater stage, that kind of thing.
Yep.
So the final secret stage is a lengthy gauntlet where you travel through different little chunks of stages. And each time you enter one of these new areas, you are auto-equipped with one of these badges. And you have to get past this whatever obstacles they throw in your way while using this particular badge. And of course the obstacles are structured around the badge in a way that you have to be very skilled. You have to kind of master using that badge, or it's a lot more difficult because you are forced to be, let's say, constantly jumping all the time. Okay. And
it sounds exhausting.
And there are there's maybe like a dozen different areas you have to go through. And after maybe like every 3 areas, you get a checkpoint. Okay. So there are long stretches between checkpoints. And of course there's still the, you got to get the little purple coins throughout each stage and that sort of thing. So, and I'm not terrible at Mario games. There's a lot of very challenging stages in this game that I was able to complete.
Yeah.
Some of them may have taken me a handful of times to get through, but I got through them. And never to the point of frustration.
Until now.
So this one, I went in. I went into it with 99 lives in reserve, the maximum number of lives in reserve. I
think it doesn't actually matter anymore, right? You can continue playing even if you lose out all your lives.
Can you?
I think. No?
I don't know. I never lose them all, so I don't know.
I've never done it, but
I would imagine. I mean,
keep letting you play.
I'm sure you probably can, but I mean, there must be some consequence. Otherwise, there would be no reason to continue having the lives.
True.
But yeah, I went in there with 99 lives. And when I got down to about 30 lives and it only made it about halfway through the level was when I decided maybe I should just be happy with 99%. So
I see.
It chewed up a lot of my extra lives, is what I'm saying.
Apparently, running out of lives will result in a game over, and players are sent back to the hub world, losing any progress that they may have made on that course that they were playing on when the game over was triggered.
Okay,
that's it.
So it's an inconvenience.
Yeah,
but nothing terribly earth-shattering.
No,
but my point is that I attempted it 70 times and got about halfway through before I realized maybe this isn't worth it. It really does come across like one of those I forget the term.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're. Yeah,
Kaizo
Mario
Mario?
Maker.
Yes. Yes, the like stupidly difficult Mario
Yeah.
Maker stages that are designed for you to just memorize exactly where every obstacle pops up, and you have to have 100% accurate timing and precision and knowledge of hitboxes and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, and you get to the point where, just by sheer repetition, you start getting good, because there were a few of those areas that I ended up becoming very good at. I could plow through a couple very difficult stages just based on repetitive muscle memory.
Yeah.
But you get to a new area where suddenly there's a challenge you haven't done yet, and you immediately die, and then suddenly you have to go back and redo those 2 previous areas perfectly, and it just got to the point where it's kind of boring, and this is not meant for me.
Well, you don't want to tarnish your overall opinion of Mario Wonder based on that last.
No, because again, Mario Wonder is incredible.
Yeah.
And I love it, and it is absolutely one of my favorite games of the year.
Yeah, same.
Now this one final secret level, okay, no. I don't need that. But
I see.
But yes, everything else leading up to it, incredible. The end game where you're going through fighting Bowser,
Yep.
is really fun. It does some really cute things with the game mechanics that I don't really want to talk about, because I'm hoping you guys will actually decide to play through it at some point.
Yes.
Seems likely.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because it's really good, and it's really fun, and it's really cute.
Yep.
But yes, I am very pleased overall, despite my complaining about one extremely difficult secret stage.
Yeah.
Mario Wonder is incredibly good, and I am delighted with it. I'm happy to have finished it, because now I can move on to probably. I mean, I got Mario RPG. I still got RoboCop. I want to get going on Like a Dragon Gaiden.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out. Maybe I'll do Gaiden next. Put a little buffer
games
between my Mario stuff.
Plus, SteamWorld Build came out apparently. Try that. It's on Game Pass.
Call me when there's a Dig 3. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's fun. I'm sure it's good, but
yeah,
it's like a city builder.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
type thing. I mean, it was the same thing as what was the like tactics game that they came out with?
Quest.
Was that SteamWorld?
Yes, they did SteamWorld Quest, and then SteamWorld. I forget what that one was.
Yeah, called. I forget what it was called. But they're doing all these like kind of
offshoots.
Yeah, different SteamWorld games, which is great.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're doing that, but I like the dig mechanics the best.
Yeah, so do I. So
yeah,
SteamWorld Build. Like I said, Heist. Says Scoop Jessica.
Yeah,
SteamWorld Heist was the tactics one, and I'm sure it's great, but that ain't my bag.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I might dive into Dragon after this.
Okay.
And then do Mario a little later.
Well, there is little 4 weeks left before we're going to do our Game of the Year show.
Yeah, you got time.
You got a lot of games to get through.
That's true. I mean, is Mario RPG going to end up on my Game of the Year list?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I like Mario RPG. Don't get me wrong, go.
Yeah.
I liked it back in the day, and I'm sure it's fantastic now, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. But that's it. It was mainly just finishing up Mario Wonder this week.
Okay.
What about you, CJ?
Well, all this talk about Game of the Year and best games got me wanting to try Lord of the Rings Gollum.
This is what you played instead of like Mario Wonder this week.
This is all about setting
This
my
is like the
expectation
little
level for Game of the
little
Year.
bit of ginger in between pieces of sushi.
That's exactly it.
Little
Yes,
palate
you
cleanser.
need that palate cleanser. And of course, an hour-long trial went up on PlayStation Plus.
Sounds like a long time to play Gollum.
Premium. Let me tell you,
oof,
it's a long time to play Gollum. Let me also tell you, when the reviews came out bad for this game, I was like, yeah, it can't be that bad, right? No, actually, it can. And I think the problem comes down to how do you make a fun video game with Gollum as the main character and making Gollum a character you want to play as? Like, I feel
Whatever
this
the answer
way.
is not what they did.
Every answer is not what they did. Yes, because the game starts out, you are like recalling the things you've done. You're in some kind of jail the elves have thrown you in jail, and Gandalf comes in and is talking with you and kind of finding out what happened to get you here. And you are recounting this tale. At least I think that's what's happening.
what?
It's not
And
canon at all.
I know. And
yes, that's me, precious.
so
You're
then
probably wondering how I got into this situation.
see that
Well,
would
it
have been
all begins many years ago.
see that already would have been better. Like if they had played it as kind of a humorous Gollum game, I think that would have been fun.
Just exactly the way J.R.R. Tolkien intended.
Yeah, exactly.
Finally, the story's being told the way
Thank
it was
God.
originally intended.
But so the game puts you in Mordor to begin with, and you kind of sneak in and then get imprisoned in the mines and made
Yeah.
to work. And the beginning of the game, they have you doing this meaningless, terrible, like late 90s era platform collectathon bullshit. And
It's a rare game.
My.
it's just not fun like at all. And of course you're in prison and you're being told what dirt you are and all this stuff, and it's just like, why am I playing this? Like this isn't fun. There's no joy here. And I know the Gollum character, this is yes, true to the books, whatever, but it doesn't work as a video game.
You know,
It
I
does not
feel like
work.
you could make a decent stealth game.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's
Yeah.
kind of the point of character, right? Is that
And there
he's-
is some stealth
he's
in the
sneaky.
beginning. They have you sneak around
Yeah.
a little bit
Hmm.
in a very sort of uninspired
Or you just don't make
way.
a game about Gollum.
Or you just don't make a game about Gollum. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, in terms of my level setting for Game of the Year, this has established the low. And now we'll just
the
go up from
baseline
here.
for what's not on the list.
Yeah,
you have to at
baseline-
least surpass this.
the baseline
Consider.
is definitely not on the list, is established. Yeah. And then I played a little bit of Baldur's Gate 3 just to have
gotta
the
play that.
whiplash experience to be complete. And it was because my daughter wanted to play video games, and I was like, oh, we have this Gollum game. My daughter loves Lord of the Rings, and even she tapped out the Gollum
Well, I mean,
game.
loving Lord
She
of the
didn't like-
Rings is, you know,
Yeah, I
that's
know.
great and all, but I mean,
Yeah.
if it's a bad game, it's a bad game.
It's a bad game. But then we started at Baldur's Gate 3, and my daughter has been going to her school's D&D club. She's like major into D&D. And I was like, oh, she's going to love this. And she loved the character creation part. When we got into the actual game, she was like, boring. Even though
Like,
it's
look, I'm a nerd, but I ain't that much of a nerd.
Yeah.
even though there were dragons, she loves dragons, and there
Yeah.
were dragons in the first little bit of the game, and she was loving that. And then as soon as we got to like the first mission or whatever, it's like she was done with that.
Mm.
So, but I was enjoying it. It works surprisingly well on controller. I'd seen people playing it on PC and just like got overwhelmed by the UI elements that they throw at you, but it looks like they did a really good job like translating a lot of stuff for controller use, which I appreciate a lot.
Okay.
I didn't play much of it, so I don't think it's my type of game. So ultimately, I don't think I'll be continuing playing after the trial. But it was interesting to go from that low bar on Gollum to Baldur's Gate 3, which is put on a very high pedestal by a lot of people, and I can see why. Like, it is a beautiful game. The production values, like especially going from Gollum to Baldur's Gate 3, it's just like serious whiplash. Like, it's so good. But yeah, so that that was my non Super Mario RPG time. And like I said, I've gotten 3 stars in Mario RPG so far. I just finished up the whole Boomer's wedding thing that happens. So now I've got the entire party of 5. And I think I'm going to swap the princess in for Mallow.
Yeah, maybe. Princess Bowser and Mario is a good party, and they've got a good triple attack as well. So
I like the triple attack that I have with Mario, Bowser, and Mallow. That's a good one. That's a really good one. It hits all enemies. I like anything that's going to hit all enemies. I'm down with that.
Then change your party to what I said.
Okay.
You'll be happy.
I'll do that then. But I'm really enjoying the game. It's a lot of fun. I have no nostalgia for it, but I'm enjoying the little bits of in Boomer's Tower. There was a little bit where you change into the Super Mario sprite from the first game.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Walk around, and that was fun too. That was unexpected. The little bits of Mario music that's kind of sprinkled throughout are
the soundtrack to that game is incredible.
Yes.
My God. It's beautiful.
You're being yelled at, CJ, by the way.
I'm being yelled at? What?
Yeah. Scoop Jessica in our chat is very cross with you.
Sorry. I'm a boomer.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Is the name of the
Booster.
No, I'm not.
Booster.
People on the internet would call me a boomer. Though, right?
I'm pretty sure we're all Gen X.
I'm pretty sure we are, but people on the internet call people of our age boomers. Right? Boomer shooters.
Well, yeah, but the people on the internet are idiots.
I guess that's true. But anyway, yeah, enjoying Super Mario RPG. I think I will end up finishing it. I'm going to play it on the trip to LA. So,
hey, Gen Xer.
Mm-hmm. And I've been playing a bunch of Fortnite. I finished the Battle Pass in the OG season, so that was nice. And I bought the Battle Pass for the new season, so I'll attempt to do that. They made some fun changes to the UI that everybody's complaining about.
Thank God they finally did something fun for that game.
They added that the train, which I'm curious about. I have not yet jumped on the train. I've crossed train tracks, but I have not seen the train in game yet. So we'll have to see how that whole thing goes. But it's only the first day. It's like the first day of the game. So what's wrong? What's wrong, Greg?
Nothing.
I'm excited about a train.
I know you are. Trains are awesome.
All aboard for fun on the Fortnite train.
I'm ready. Anyway, that's all I've been playing. So I guess that means it's time for tweets.
Here we go.
All aboard! Tweedly diddly dee, a tweedly diddly dee, choo, a choo, a choo choo.
All right. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias Night Attack, who says, my analog pocket is coming. Unlike Seward, though, I got the dock as well already. What's the best choice for controller? I'm open to lots of different options.
I got the dock. Let me tell you something about the dock. When it comes to controllers, it is finicky.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like this day and age, you kind of expect to just plug in a controller and have it work.
Any sort of USB.
Yeah, or something with like a dongle, a USB dongle. Yep. Not the case.
Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm using an 8-bit DOE. I forget exactly what it's called. Like Genesis, the 6-button Genesis controller from 8-bit DOE. But I can't use it with the USB receiver. It will only work if it's plugged directly into the dock.
Oh, really?
Oh,
weird.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah. And I think like that. I think your standard like Xbox 360 controller will plug into it, or probably all the Xbox family controllers. I don't really know, but it's not as plug and play as it should be, unfortunately.
I have an 8-bit Go. What is it? It's the Pro 2 Bluetooth gamepad, and it's kind of set up. It looks like a PlayStation controller.
I think the Bluetooth ones probably work. The one I have, Mike in the chat, it's the 2.4 gigahertz, the M30, and that doesn't want to work with it.
Okay,
but I think Bluetooth probably would.
Yeah, I've had no problems with their Bluetooth one.
Yeah,
I got it in I got the translucent purple to kind of give me that old atomic purple Game Boy GBA feel, or no, Game Boy Color. Did I have I'm trying to remember which system I had the clear purple. I think it was my Game Boy Color was the clear purple. But yeah, that one I've had no problems with. The 8-bit Pro 2 Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Gamepad.
But yeah, I mean, otherwise it's awesome. The being able to just plunk that thing down on the dock and have it on the TV is
Yep,
fantastic. I'm waiting for my cartridge adapters now.
Yeah,
I ordered the adapter set, but I missed out on because last month it said on the thing that's like pre-orders are going to ship in December. But I was a little bit, because of Christmas, a little bit short on cash at the end of the pay cycle. So I waited till the 1st of December to order. And now it says that anything ordered right now is going to ship in February. So,
bummer.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I've been getting some emails from them. It sounds like the Analog Duo is going to be shipping probably next week.
Yep. Apparently.
So I'm very excited about that.
I didn't pull the trigger on that just because I don't have enough. I feel like I don't have enough CD games to make that worthwhile.
Oh, really?
But getting the cartridge adapter for the Pocket.
Oh, yeah.
I think the latest version of the EverDrive for the Turbo, it's along the same lines as you get with the latest Genesis flash cart things, where it'll emulate the CD drive. I believe it does that for the latest EverDrive for the Turbo as well. So I'm thinking that my Pocket might actually become like my TurboGrafx and TurboGrafx CD machine, just using one of those EverDrives. That's kind of the plan. And the dock, right? So it's all FPGA. So
sure,
same thing as far as I'm concerned.
Nice. All right, let's do this one from Marky Mark 2, who says, "How much do you think your tastes have ossified over the years?"
We did this already.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we have.
Did we?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Said we didn't do it, so now I'm reading it.
I feel like we did it anyway.
As in, I know what I like and won't touch things outside of those genres. For example, I used to play sports games, but haven't touched any in years. We've done a version of this.
We've done a version of this at the very least, yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'll play anything that's on Game Pass or PS Plus Premium or PS Plus, right? I mean, I played the Gollum trial, so I'll play anything, even if it's not in a
clearly I'll play anything.
Typically would like I played Baldur's Gate 3. That would not be a game that I would normally try ever. So I do venture out into other genres, even if it's something that I don't typically like. Because you never know when somebody was going to get if a game's going to get like the UI and the experience of playing a city builder right, then maybe I'll like it. Or deck builder game, maybe I'll like it. That hasn't happened yet. Doesn't mean it won't. But yeah.
I just think this is a great use of the word ossified. That's not a word you hear in conversation very often.
That's true.
True.
Yeah. I definitely I'm not that person. I would say, through the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, I would play anything. And not necessarily like play through it, but I would still try anything. Like I remember what was that strategy game from Koei for the PlayStation 2? Kessen?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was called. Like I sat and played that. That's not something I'm interested in. It's not, a genre I would ever play. But it's like, oh, it's a new game. I'll try it. And especially,
Sure.
through the years working in games media and having unfettered access to just about everything.
Yeah.
That made it even that much easier. And it was something that was a habit I definitely had to break when I wasn't really in the games media anymore and had to start paying for all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, nowadays I'm very much I just won't touch anything I'm not, like massively multiplayer, Fortnite and its ilk, do not give a shit. I just it's not something I'm interested in.
Sure.
Like Sea of Thieves, I was kind of interested in, but it took me about 3 hours to realize that I wasn't. I'll still pick that up every now and then because CJ and Mike are both so into it, and sometimes they'll say, "Hey, let's play Sea of Thieves," and I'll play in that I sit on the ship and watch them play.
Hasn't it been like 2 years since
It's
we
been a
played?
long time. Yeah.
We got to do that
But yeah,
again.
I'll play the stuff I'm interested in, and although I don't think that that's changed much over the last X number of years,
Yeah.
I will say lately, and I'd say this year, I'm starting to get more interested in getting back into turn-based RPGs because in the 90s,
Mm.
that was my jam, right? Like
Right.
it was Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest or the early PlayStation RPGs like Suikoden and stuff like that, and even strategy RPGs. Like I would play all of those, Wild Arms, and right up into the PlayStation 2. And then probably since I had kids, I started sort of backing off on those games. Not only because of having kids and being a little more busy, but also I feel like there was a shift in the mid 2000s where a lot of those games just started getting way more complicated than I liked.
Hmm.
A lot of different, like, sort of too many systems interacting with one another that I either didn't understand or didn't care to learn. And so I kind of backed off on them. But I think the resurgence of like turn-based RPGs, especially where you have options to dial it down a little bit, like being able to play
Yeah.
through Fantasy Star in the M2 version of the original Fantasy Star was like a great sort of tipping point for that, where it's like I get to experience this, but I don't need to do this soul crushing grinding that's required. I'm not going to drop 10 hours into going up some levels only to find out that it wasn't enough and the boss just crushes me. And like with the Final
Yeah.
Fantasy remakes, the pixel remasters that came out, and now this Mario RPG, like I'm actually kind of feeling the urge to keep playing turn-based role-playing games, playing through the Shining series as well. So
Yeah.
I would say that that's something that I haven't been super interested in over the last like 10 years that I'm starting to get really interested in again. But yeah, 20, 30 years ago, if one of those games came on the market, I was not playing anything else but that game.
What's a newer turn-based RPG that you'd be interested in playing?
I keep wanting to check out, or I tell myself I'm going to check out, oh God, now the name is completely lost. I've completely lost it. It's that 2D, 3D,
Octopath Traveler
Octopath
and
Traveler
Octopath
2,
Traveler 2?
because I've
Yeah.
heard 2 is I tried the first one and I
Mhm.
found it was a little bit too heavy.
Yeah.
But I've heard 2 is quite good.
Yeah, I've heard great
So,
things about 2.
yeah, so it kind of that's on my radar, but I don't know if I'll get to it or not. I really just want
Yeah.
to play through the rest of the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. So,
Those are good, yeah. Those came out this year for Switch,
I know.
right?
And I
Oh,
played through the
geez,
first one. I'm
yeah.
like halfway through the second one, and then all the other games started. Live Alive, or yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
interested
Live
in that
Alive.
one as well. Yeah, but again, I don't know if I'll ever get to them.
There's a demo on that one that
Oh yeah, I've played it.
transfers progress over,
Yeah,
which is another trend that I
love.
really
Oh,
like. All right, let's finish it up with this one from Hacker Alias Edge, who says there is now a plethora of handhelds out there. Which one do you think is the most interesting or has the most potential?
Plethora
So,
of handhelds, you said?
yeah, like the Aya Neo or the
Oh,
Odin or the Ambernix that are out there, or the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck. Of course, there's that. Like,
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. The only one of those I've ever heard of is the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
maybe says more about me than
Well,
anything else.
Well,
But
just more
think
about
if
your
you're
interest level.
I think if
yeah,
you're
I
not
think that must
looking
be it.
into that form factor, you're not gonna know what those things are.
What like I just looked up the Embernick,
Yeah.
and it just looks like a knockoff Game Boy. What is this thing? Is it like
Yeah,
a
the Ambernick, they make a
Raspberry
bunch of
Pi
different
thing or something?
handhelds that either are running Linux or Android, or I think they've gone on to do more advanced stuff, but mainly like retro focused handhelds
Do they just
that
play
are
like
running
ROMs or
Android
something, or
emulators, but have the form factor of classic handhelds. That's like one of the selling points.
so
I
like
like my analog pocket.
yeah,
Yeah,
but like
Analog Pocket. Yeah.
so like the Anbernic is just like it just plays ROMs, emulators.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Or if it runs Android, it can play some Android games as
Oh,
well.
okay.
But yeah, mainly ROMs and emulators. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like Greg said, I really like the Analog Pocket.
Yeah, I think the most interesting of these sort of handheld PCs is the Steam Deck, especially now that they came out with the OLED model. Like,
I like my
feel
Steam
like
Deck.
that is that it's the most interesting of all of these.
Hmm.
And it's the most console like. I feel like the ROG Ally, I've just heard a lot of horror stories of people, because it's Windows, having to like mess with that and the customization. And I just personally, I'm not at all interested in that kind of thing. So that would turn me off from a handheld
I watch.
in a big
I
way.
remember Victor Lucas did a video, a review of that, and he had endless problems with the thing.
Yeah.
I think he actually sent it back.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the battery life isn't great on those things. Like, I feel like the Steam Deck, they're really trying to optimize that thing for handheld play, and make it easy for you to change the graphic settings on each of your game to really like, if you really want to customize, you can, but it's also easy enough to operate with a console mindset where you just select a preset and go, right?
Hmm.
So I like that. I think that is going to be the way to go in the future. I think it's great that we're getting a lot of competitors, because that's just going to force Valve and
absolutely.
others to get better and better at this stuff.
One
I
would
kind of
hope.
feel that way about the remote play, like the streaming handhelds too, because you have the Logitech G Cloud and now the PlayStation Portal. It's like those are good devices, and they are on the cusp of something great, I think, like with remote play, like, and I want to see that market advance too.
Hmm.
So,
Yep,
but
agreed.
in terms of most interesting, yeah, it's the Steam Deck for me. And I want to see if Logitech does a second version of the G Cloud. I think that would be cool. Yeah, and Logitech has done a lot of updating of the firmware of the G Cloud to let you customize things like controller dead zones, and that can be important in games like shooters, where you want to really like customize how those settings work. So I've been impressed by their support, and I hope they've got another revision out there at some point. Anyway, I think that's
What
it.
CJ said.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's a show.
All right.
Alrighty, and that is our show this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on various social networks, but definitely X and Threads. And we also have an internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Stewart. You'll find Generation 16 episodes as they happen. There's a Ridge Racer thing that is going to happen at some point here soon, maybe,
God,
possibly.
I hope so.
Yeah, and you'll also find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about during this episode, and a link to our Discord server. where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting playeronepodcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on, Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1 podcast, or you can watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes, the Facebooks, the Twitch.televisions. Just follow one of our many social media accounts to find out when we are doing our next live show. Typically, it is Sunday evenings at 5:30 specific time. So join us, won't you? And if you like what you've heard, and how could you, head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. We will use those funds to add a little holiday flair to my disinterested co-hosts rooms, because look at how unjolly their environments are. My goodness, you hate to see it.
CJ, what I can't wait for next week is just a bunch of lights and garland on CJ's floor. But I hope it needs to be lit up. Like, seriously, just
a pile
all the
of
ornaments on the floor.
Christmas bulbs draped all over that pile of unhung artwork.
Yep, let's do it.
That
This is great.
appears to be slowly expanding.
It is. It's getting worse.
Okay.
Like, I feel bad for the beautiful art pieces that are underneath whatever pile is forming on top of it.
I know.
I guess it's true.
What really sells it too is the shelf of empty shelves.
That's the other thing that kills me. and the dead IMAX sitting in front of them.
Well, that's true.
We're gonna hire an interior decorator to go over to
happening
CJ's place with your Patreon funds. That's not true. What we do use your Patreon funds for, of course, is to keep our show going, keep it streaming, all those costs that come with running a podcast. And I'll tell you what, if you are a Patreon supporter of the $5 tier,
cheap,
you gain special access to a bonus episode that we record right after this, where we play games crack-wise, having fun, doing all the stuff you can't do on the regular show. CJ?
Yeah.
Do we have a game to play this week?
We do have a game to play this week, Phil.
Ooh.
That's right.
Okay.
It is all about video game advertising from the 90s.
Nice.
From video game magazines.
Oh.
So we will be playing that.
Is that from a reader?
From our good friend Mike has sent us this quiz.
You have to tell us now. Is it an AI quiz?
I don't think so.
Last time you hid that from us.
No, I don't think it is.
Well,
we must guess the thing being advertised. Yeah. So
90s video game ads were a special kind of.
They're great.
Wild. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
You'll want to watch the YouTube version of this.
Of course.
Show, it is
yes.
Going to have a visual component.
And if you want a sneak peek of what our little after show quizzes are like, just follow our regular podcast feed. CJ every Thursday tosses up a classic oldie
from 100 years
from
ago.
the 80s, 90s, and today.
From 100 episodes ago.
100 episodes ago. So, and then if you like that, feel free to pop over to Patreon and start listening to some of the new stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to patreon.com/Greg Seward to help support Greg's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Phil. And if you are a supporter of the $5 variety,
also cheap. Oh, wait, that's not the Satan voice.
Not the devil?
No.
Oh no!
Something got
the radio magic is gone.
How about now? No, now I'm a robot.
Nope.
That's Dormerbot.
Didn't work.
What's happening here?
Something got misaligned.
Radio announcer. Anyway, you get access to the Almost Weekly Commute, a vlog series that I do, talking about all the different things I'm working on. And hey, speaking of new videos, I just released one this past Friday where I sit and play through and talk about creating the first E3 demo I ever worked on. The E3
my
demo
goodness.
for Robotech Invasion.
Whoa.
I think it's pretty neat. I think it's kind of interesting. You should go check it out. Also, something that I forgot to do last week, but I'm going to do right now because I forgot to do it this week too until this very moment, is I was recently on the Super Gamer podcast.
Yeah.
Just 45 or so minute interview where I talked about what I really think about CJ and Phil. So you should go check that out.
Oh.
It's cool shit. No, it was all positive.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I really think
Sounds like a treat.
There we go.
You thought you were rid of me, but I'm back.
I was worried that we were rid of you.
It's a good thing Phil had these presets saved. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Anyway, that's it. Thank you.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Greg. CJ,
Yeah.
is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Goodbye.
Wait, that's really it. Wow. Okay.
No, CJ.
You're not
I
even
guess
going to
we're done
thank
here.
us?
I'm about to thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, CJ.
Thank you, Phil.
Absolutely. Gregory.
Yo.
Thank you as well.
Thank you, Philip.
Oh, you got it, dude. And of course, a big old thank you to you, our wonderful, wonderful listeners, every single darned one of you. As always, please take care of yourself, your loved ones, your family, your friends. Do what you got to do to be safe. Be kind to yourself. Live your life so you don't end up as the subject of an H-Bomber guy video.
Oh God, there's some
My
kind of drama
goodness.
going on again, isn't there? I saw mention of that.
I'm
Is there
3
really?
hours into it, and it's a
What?
doozy.
What?
Can I say, you know what?
What?
Please, YouTubers, start breaking your videos up. If it's a 3 hour or 4 hour video, maybe do 4 episodes. Jesus.
But they get a lot of ad revenue, probably.
Oh my
on
God.
that. A lot of ad
Ugh.
breaks in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good video. He did. It's the new video is about YouTube plagiarism,
Oh.
and it's a doozy. It's a dilly of a pickle. I recommend it.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah, be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other.
Be kind to
We
the
hope
people
to
you're
see you.
stealing content from.
Huh?
Be kind to the people you're stealing content. You're
Oh
plagiarizing.
yeah, absolutely.
You don't want that to come back and haunt you.
It's
Oh.
man, oh man. It's well, you know what the first subject of the video is about that Philip guy? Not me.
Philip Mewson?
One of the bad Phillips.
Yeah. The guy who was hired by IGN and then
Yeah, the guy
fired
who
by
did the
IGN.
Oh,
he stole the Dead Cells review.
Dead Cells
Yeah.
review, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it starts off about him and bounces to a few other people. And then like the final 2 hours is about one other dude who
Ugh.
who today, I think the video came out yesterday, and then today has like wiped all his social media accounts and wiped his Patreon and just
See you later.
realized the jig was up.
Hmm.
But yeah. Goodbye,
All right.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.